Hello guys, thanks for joining me today. Today I want to talk to you about something that was brought to my attention from one of my subscribers. And when I went back and took a look at it, it's a classic scenario of what I try to tell you guys not to do. And I'm hoping with this, it'll kind of hit it home. So if you know of anyone who's even considering bringing someone to their home country, please share this with them. Because guys, I know a lot of times we feel that we want to do what we want to do. We live in this fairy tale about what could be, and that's fine. But you have to protect yourself because it's not going to turn out the way you think. So I don't care if you are a passport bro or any other kind of bro, okay? Get out of the fairy tale. You're not going to run to some country, sweep some girl off her feet, and live happily ever after. That only works in the movies. So here we are today. So before we get started, I'm going to ask you guys, share this with someone who you think or may be potentially about to make this mistake. So I'm going to start by getting a clear definition of what is the passport bros, and then I'm going to go on and talk about the situation at hand. Let's take a look.
Who are the passport bros? The term passport bros refers to Western men, often from countries like the United States, who travel to economically disadvantaged nations to find wives. They argue that women in these regions are more traditional, submissive, and family-oriented compared to women in the West, whom they accuse of being too independent or influenced by feminism. But critics of the Passport Bros movement point to an unsettling reality. These relationships often exploit power imbalances. With significant economic and cultural disparities, these men wield an unspoken control, raising questions about consent, autonomy, and equality.
Okay guys, so here we have it. Kind of help you understand what the whole passport bro thing is and what they're trying to do. Now, in one respect, I can understand. You know, there are some guys out there who feel that they want a solid relationship, and that's respectable. But where the problem comes in, what they're failing to realize is that they have created the situation in their home country, and they're running to another country thinking they're going to find better, but yet at the same time taking their same mentality over there, being simps, and wondering why it's not working out for them. It's not going to work, because if you got one girl that has a sea of guys trying to get her attention, what is the point of trying to keep you? There's no benefit to that. You're chasing her. You know, you're one person chasing her, but she see 1,000 guys chasing her. You want to give all this material things to kind of win her favor, and she doesn't care because, once again, she got 100 guys after her. She got guys coming out the woodwork chasing her. So why settle for one when I got many? Okay? Why? I don't have to marry any of you. I don't have to settle for any of you. If I drop one, I pick up 3 more. So there's no benefit to her to settle down with one guy. And this is something you guys are not considering. With this in mind, you have to look at it in the sense of you are the prize. She should be chasing you. You should not be going to a country chasing her. What does she bring to the table that's gonna help your situation? There's no benefit to you to marry her. Okay? And here's what we're going to discover when we talk about Chad, and I'm going to go on. So once again, the takeaway from this part is, I don't care what kind of bro you are, the fairy tale isn't going to work. It's not going to work. You're trying to get love. They are trying to get support. They're trying to survive, so they don't have the luxury of looking for love. This is why They dump you so easily and run to a Filipino guy who has nothing. They only want you for support, but they want the Filipino guy for love. So let's take a look at the next part and we'll come back in and chime in on that.
Chad Todad, or Chad, rose to TikTok fame by sharing his experiences as a passport bro. His marriage to Jay Ann initially seemed to fulfill his ideal of a traditional wife. Like many such relationships, their story began like a fairy tale.
You start with those goals and then you work on relationship, then you work on compatibility. And I think it was fate, I think it was luck. But Jayann and I met on OkCupid on February 19th for me, 20th for her, 2020. And we really hit it off. I was very honest in the beginning about where I was in life, what had happened, and what I wanted. I was very clear that I wasn't just looking for another young Asian lady to fulfill my baby daddy wishes, that I understood the risks, and I understood how serious it was. Was she down for it? And we had a long time to discuss it, because right after we met, and I had bought some tickets to go to the Philippines to meet for the first time, what happened?
Pandemic, it's lockdown everywhere.
Pandemic hit.
Jay Ann, a young woman from a developing country, was swept off her feet by her so-called Prince Charming, Chad. For 2 years, their TikTok accounts were filled with story times and bonding moments, painting a picture of happiness and love. But cracks soon appeared.
Okay, so here we go. As you know, in 2020, the pandemic started. So no one was traveling anywhere. That's the first thing to consider. The second thing to consider is that he met her on OkCupid. Those dating sites for girls in other countries are littered with scammers. 99% of them on there only want money. No one on there is looking for a serious relationship. So you're online from 2020 up until the time we were able to travel, just chatting. And you're thinking you have a relationship. You don't have a relationship with someone that you're talking to online that you never met. You only have a chat partner. I can't even say it's a friend because you never met them. You have no history together. Guys, if you really want to see what you have in a person, put them under pressure. I don't know if you've heard or not, but they said pressure will bust a pipe. You put that person under pressure, it'll show you their true character. It'll show you what they're made of. We want to base our relationships on the good times. But during the good times, a person will eat a ton of your crap. In the good times. What about when reality set in? Reality says it's tough. A lot of us, or a lot of them, don't want to take the bitter with the sweet. They want the sweetness, but when crap gets tough, they want to run. So here he is chatting with someone online, thinking he's building a rapport. He say he know the risk involved. Well, if he knew the risk, he wouldn't have married her. Okay? If he knew the risk. So they had a long talk. Okay, and that's fine. You talked about it. But here's the thing. A person will tell you just what you want to hear to get what they want. Do you think a con or a scammer going to go against what you're telling them? If you're telling them, I want to live like this and I want this kind of relationship and I want that, are you down with it? To get what they want, of course they're going to say yes. Duh. It's simple arithmetic. But to think that he's establishing a relationship with somebody online just because she agrees and he's telling her what he wants is misguided. He's living in a fairy tale if that's what he thinks. So The takeaway from this is don't think that just because you're communicating with people online that you have a relationship, especially if it's someone you never met in person. And even then, if you meet them in person, you have to keep in mind, not only is she chatting with you, she's chatting with other guys also. You're not the only one. And if you go into it thinking you're the only one, that you have an exclusive relationship, you are living in a fairy tale. So from here, let's go on and see what Chad has to say.
In one TikTok post, Chad labeled Jay-Ann as Americanized, accusing her of changing after gaining US citizenship. He lamented what he perceived as her newfound independence, even claiming that the American system enables women to leave relationships easily.
My Filipino wife has been Americanized. My Americanized Filipino wife. That seems to be triggering a lot of people. Let me explain what I mean. In America, if a wife, even a girlfriend, is not happy in the relationship, all she has to say to the world on social media, and especially to the government, I'm not happy. And if she drops the word abused or anything along those lines, the American system steps in. It steps in to protect her against any for any allegations that she makes. And the man's side of the story is, it's all assumed. I'm an evil, controlling, patriarchal, oppressive white dude.
Now this is a part I'm glad you heard. Now, I don't know what happened between him and Jay-Ann. We only have her side and his side, and we're going to get to her side here in a moment. But I'm going to tell you this. 100% is accurate what he just said. Okay? I don't know about other countries, but you take someone to the U.S. and she claimed any kind of abuse, mistreatment, just want out of the marriage, it's history. The government is not going to listen to you. You are going to be considered disgruntled. She's going to get all the rights. They're going to listen to everything she has to say. But what you have to say means nothing. It doesn't even make any sense to open your mouth because they're going to look down on you as, well, you're just trying to control her. You're just trying to manipulate her because they're looking at the age gap. They're looking at the fact that you brought her here. So Chad is 100% correct. There is no win for men. So would you play a game or put yourself in an investment where you already know you're 100% going to fail? Would you do that? If you wouldn't do it, so why bring someone to your country? It doesn't work, guys. And even your country would be against you. Don't fall for the okie doke. So if Chad really knew the risk, which I'm seeing now he don't, if he knew the risk, then he would have knew this up front and not brought her to the U.S. So obviously Chad don't know the risk because it gets deeper than that. And that's something I'm going to basically say for my subscribers. It gets deeper than that. You could really get your balls in a bind, and it's not worth it. Like I tell some guys, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Let it go. Visit them. If they leave you, at least they leave you while they're still in their country. They don't come to your country, make a fool out of you, get you arrested, get charges against you, ruin your life, you go to jail, all this other nonsense that goes along with that. If it doesn't work out, they can stay there with their family. You can go back to your home country. At least you get to try it again. But taking them to your country, that's a no-win situation for the man. And I keep harping on that. And I guess I have to do it every video because I need to drive it home because you guys are not listening. It does not pay. But enough said. Let's move on to the next one.
Ann fired back, denying Chad's claims and revealing a different side of the story. She accused him of disrespecting her parents, verbally and physically.
I think the word Americanized has nothing to do with someone who is disrespectful, especially to your people. Let's say that your closest people. It's because he disrespected my parents, screaming, snatching some things verbally and physically. So what I am thinking that time, you are freely disrespecting me and abusing me. I think that's enough. You can do it. You can do it 24/7 to me. You can do it anytime. But to the point that you're gonna be disrespecting my people, especially my parents, I think that's what, draw the line. I think that's when the time that I said I want to separate. It's not because I wanted to separate just because I wanted it. I've dealt a lot with him for the last 2 years that I am here.
While she expressed gratitude.
Okay, now we've heard Ann's side of the story. And let's look at this, guys. Think about it. She says he could abuse her all she wants, but don't do it to her parents. He drew the line, as she says. She didn't really want to leave, but he drew the line. He crossed the line. Maybe you don't remember me telling you this, but I once said, and I may have to keep saying this too, no matter how the relationship is, whether you're married or dating, you're not part of that family. She wanted to leave him. Here's the thing, and let's look at it this way. First of all, why is her parents living with them? The thing you have to consider, if their parents need them that much, let them stay there with their parents. I tell the girls all the time when they tell me this, oh yeah, I support my parents. I said, well, I can't take you from your family. They need you. I shut it down. If their parents need them that much, let them stay there with their parents. Second thing to take away from this, you're not a part of the family. You might be married to her, but to walk around there thinking that you're Filipino and they accept you, no, they don't. Let the money run out. You'll see how quick you are accepted. And in her situation, she's in a position, and that's what she says, he could do it to her, but don't do it to my parents. Guys, you have to read between the lines. She's basically saying, you are nothing. I'm choosing my parents. She don't want to get divorced, but he disrespected her parents. Why not let her parents go back to the Philippines? I mean, there are options. Let's look at it. If she feel he disrespected her parents, why not let her parents move out, go back to the Philippines? Now there's no disrespect. But since she got her paperwork in order, she got her green card, no. I got what I want. My parents are here. I don't need you anymore. So here we are, guys. What is it going to take for you to understand you're not going to save anybody? You're not going to get a cape. You're not going to get an S on your chest. You're not going to join the Legion of Superheroes by going to save someone. See, Chad think that because he had a plan, he can take her with him. But guys, if you have a plan, save that plan for somebody who wants to have a plan. You thinking that because you go and marry someone and take them out of their living condition, that you have done something, that you can pump your chest, that you are the bro of bros, when in actuality, you're really making a fool of yourself. Because at the end of the day, they're laughing at you. You're trying to go over there with your chest out with the concept, I'm a man, I can do this. No. Yes, you are a man, but that doesn't mean you have to be a foolish man. Guys, It's one thing to build with someone who wants to build with you. And the only way to establish that is go through things. You have to be able to go through a storm with the person to find out their character. Have any of you ever seen that TV show, Naked and Afraid? And they put the people out there. Some people come together so well, they get their tasks together, they get their resources, and they go. You got others that just don't get along. The pressure of being out there going through that doesn't work for them. But this is the same thing. No matter how much you have your idea in your head on how you want it to be, she may be a person that can't take pressure. And from the 21 years of going to the Philippines, one thing I do know, a Filipino cannot handle pressure. If you discuss something more than 5 minutes, they consider it an argument. They always want to get rest. It's never a time where you can sit down and debate about anything. That's pressure. They don't take confrontation well. So right there, with their character, you're already at a disadvantage. You may want to sit and talk about things. To you, it's just a discussion. But when you talk about it with her, I don't want to argue. They just want to sweep it under the rug. I don't want to argue. If Chad really knew the risk, these are the things he would have known. So I'm asking you guys today, share this with someone who is considering taking someone to their country. Try to get them to realize it doesn't work. You're not going to join the class of superheroes. You're not going to be a stand-up kind of guy because you can pay the bills. Think about it. Why risk your future for a little split? Why risk your future for just thinking with your little head? And this is what happened. Now he's risking his life because now she wants to leave him because he disrespected her parents. Please share this with someone who you feel that needs it. And on the next video, I want to really talk about this whole passport bro thing. Okay? Take care, guys. See you in the next one. Peace.